Hey, welcome back to Behind the Gloss. I'm Shakai Monet, and today I am here with the one and only Zeba Zari. So sorry. Yeah, hi Zeba, how are you?
Hi, nice to see you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, of course. Like your brand, you are the owner and founder of Preme Foods, which is super incredible. And I think I found you I saw a blog and it said that you like quit sugar. I'm currently trying to quit. So
It's
thank you
hard
for
work.
that. Yes. And again, I think your products make it easier too. So, of course, what is Preme Foods and how did it get started? Like, what's your story?
Well, I commend you for wanting to quit sugar. I read a crazy fact that sugar kills more people per year than any other, which is crazy. But yeah, there's many forms of sweets that we can indulge in without sugar. Preme Foods is a gut building hydration brand with premium ingredients and prebiotic fibers. What makes us different is that we use FODMAP friendly prebiotic fibers. So they are safe and gentle for people who bloat easily or have IBS or experience any sort of like gut sensitivities. These will be gentle enough for you.
Oh, nice. And I like you said, like, it will help with bloating because that's
Yeah.
the worst.
We all are bloated. I think all of us have some sort of inflammatory response going on today in modern society. It's really hard to maintain a healthy and balanced gut microbiome. So we all need this support. And I just thought, I really needed it. And I see more and more people needing it. So that's really what inspired me to create the brand.
Well, thank you. Because again, like, I want to be healthy,
Yeah,
but I find it well, I don't like cooking. So I think that's my
it's
problem.
tough.
Like, I just want to grab something and go, which I can do with Preme Foods. But first, you were talking about, like it's good for your gut. But again, I don't think many people think about gut health or like why it's important. So can you kind of
Yeah.
talk us through that and even like what symptoms we need to be aware of?
Totally. I think a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't have stomach pains, so I don't have gut health issues. But most metabolic disorders and diseases can be traced back to gut health. Even like if you have painful periods or weird hormones, like that's also your gut health. Your skin breaking out is your gut health. So if you have consistent allergies or you get sick a lot, that's also your gut health. So it's interesting to think about how the gut is like the epicenter of the body and everything roots back to the gut. I think, bloating, obviously, that's kind of where I was from. I was chronically constipated, which is like TMI, but when you're not having bowel movements every single day, 1 to 3 times a day, like your gut is in trouble. Your system is having a hard time detoxing and it's going to get trapped in the lymph and the blood and it's going to become systemic. So, not just stomach aches, not just hormone issues, but also, if you have stubborn weight gain, if you have like weird belly fat that just came out of nowhere, it might be like you're having a bacterial overgrowth or a fungal overgrowth. If you have, chronic chin acne or forehead acne, it's like your body's not detoxing your estrogens and your liver's not being supported. Even the color of your teeth, my teeth got way whiter after I fixed my gut health, which is really weird to think about. Just like how much our bodies thrive from being in a clean environment. And when the gut is working optimally, you're like really detoxifying every single day. All the stuff that we're exposed to so many chemicals in this country. And so I think that's why a lot of us are struggling with our gut health or our health overall.
Wow. Yeah, because you were naming some things and like I just got a sugar rash. Like that's why I stopped sugar. Cause like I thought it was just eczema. And then so I have makeup covering it because it was on my neck. And I'm like,
Good.
not the neck.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, so I think it's been like 2 weeks without sugar and I'm really proud.
Wow, I'm
But
proud of you.
well,
That's
I s-
huge.
but I switched to chips and then I like started
Oh,
eating
you're
and
healthier.
yeah, and I think I heard that you were eating it too. It was like oats and then I put like cinnamon and honey in it.
Cinnamon, sea salt will trick your brain into thinking it's sweeter than it is.
Ooh, okay, I'll add the sea salt.
Yeah,
But
a little bit of salt will trick your brain to be like, "Oh my God, it's sweet."
nice. But So again, like all this is just coming from my gut, and then like just your products will help with that. Cause so you have, what is it, two? No, it's three.
Yeah, we have 3
Three.
products, but we have 2 hydration
Okay.
flavors, and then we have 1 gentle prebiotic fiber that's completely unflavored. So people can mix it
Ooh.
into the beverage they already want or like if they're not in the mood to try our stuff.
Gosh, okay, so wait, with the one that you can mix into anything,
Yeah.
like again, now I'm all about my gut health, gotta
Yes,
protect it.
girl.
So, but like, is it, the alcohol, is that really good for my gut? Like, can I mix your products with that and be like healthy, or is that problematic?
Well, I really believe in like an 80/20. Like I'm really not a proponent of being so, so, so strict. The things that I'm strict about is just like that's what feels good to my body. And I'd rather listen to my body than recreating consistent inflammation in the body because I have to deal with the aftermath. But like, I really believe if you can tolerate alcohol and you're not feeling like a huge issue from it, why not have a drink here or there? Like, if you're gonna have a drink, try to get really high-end tequila, really high quality alcohol. It'll make a huge difference. But like a vodka is gonna be higher in sugar than a tequila. I haven't had alcohol in 2 years just because every single time I drank, it would be like I was just having an alcohol poisoning experience. Like I would vomit for 12 hours straight, like not knowing what was going on. And it just stopped being worth it to me. Like it's really fun for others, but I'm usually like quite nauseous. So to each their own. People say that the kiwi lemonade is really good with mezcal, but that's what I've heard. I do think like if you are supporting the body with detox, then it'll help counterbalance like the downsides and downside effects of alcohol. But what I love about our brand is we have like a three-prong support system in our electrolytes. So we use prebiotic fiber to rebalance the gut microbiome. Some people use probiotics. We're like kind of anti adding probiotics into daily supplements. So the difference between a prebiotic and a probiotic, prebiotics are found in plant fibers like fruits and vegetables. They're naturally occurring. They are like fertilizer for your good gut bacteria. So they like support the growth of good gut bacteria while helping the die off of bad bacteria. And you can't really overdo it on the fiber. Like if you do, it's going to be like you're eating so much fiber that you might get a little backed up. But the best way to avoid that is to stay hydrated. And so that's why I wanted to create a hydration brand with fiber. I didn't want to just use any fiber. We see psyllium husk all over the market. It's too harsh for someone like me with IBS. Like I will literally get backed up. It'll have the opposite impact. It'll make me less detoxing. It'll make me more backed up. So any registered dietitian that's like, just take psyllium husk, I'm like, that is not just for everyone. That is for people who are not really experiencing bloating. So anyone experiencing bloating, we use FODMAP-friendly prebiotic fibers. They're bloat-friendly prebiotic fibers. They're prescribed by functional medicine doctors, and they're just backed by science to not cause bloat. So we use real New Zealand kiwi fruit in our kiwi lemonade. A lot of people will come up and ask me, "There's not real kiwi in this, is there?" I'm like, "Yes, there is. We use real fruit. We use real ingredients." And the reason why we don't add probiotics are living strains of bacteria. Um, we have about 1,500 different strains in the gut. And most, if you look at the back of the label, when they say probiotics, most of the strains that they add are like the same 3 strains. Um, so they said that there's an emerging science that's proven that if you take too many probiotics, you can create a imbalance in the gut, which then can cause more bloating and harm and inflammation. So, just taking probiotics is never the answer. Like, I firmly believe that you need a prescription for certain probiotic strains. Like, my doctor, functional medicine doctor, and I both are in the place of like, if you haven't done a gut test and you don't know what's going on in your gut, wait on the probiotics. They're definitely useful and supportive when targeted and you're getting certain strains and you know that you're low in that strain. But like for daily use, prebiotic fiber is inclusive, especially when it's FODMAP friendly. So I really wanted to create a product that anyone can use
Mm.
no matter where they're at and no matter what they're going through. And it could be a daily product.
Oh, amazing. Because again, that kiwi lemonade sounds so good.
I need to get you some. I'll send you
And
some after this.
oh, thank you. 'Cause, yeah, I had my eye on that. But you also have it's hot cocoa, and you can actually warm it up.
Yeah, so it's just I really love coffee, but coffee doesn't love me that much. I mean, I'm not gonna quit coffee because that's again my 80/20 rule, but um I definitely feel it on days where my stomach is like worn out from something I ate or just like a bit overwhelmed. Like the coffee can kind of cramp me or make me feel like my cortisol's jumping up. And I wanted to have a replacement option for people and for myself, like when you're in the mood. And in Chinese medicine, like drinking warm beverages is really good for your gut health. So yeah, like I wanted to create an electrolyte that was warm. And it's like a salty hot cocoa. It's sweet and salty. It's really good. It's kind of a neutral flavor. It's made with real cold pressed cacao. Most products have like a processed cocoa, which goes through like a chemical process to be extracted. We wanted to use very minimally processed ingredients. Some people are really team hot cocoa and some people are really team kiwi lemonade. It just depends what you're in the mood for.
Yeah, because now I'm like, that sounds good too. And then you had me when you're like, the warm beverages are like better for the gut.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I'll switch to hot cocoa. I'm sure it will help like with my sugar cravings because you said it's sweet.
100%. Also, you're
Mm.
getting like the magnesium from the cocoa. Like it's very rich in magnesium and electrolytes. So the cocoa itself is an electrolyte, but then we also add in trace minerals, 100 milligrams of magnesium, and yeah. Also, like just knowing the fact that our foods contain about 80% less magnesium than they did when our grandparents were eating those foods is like really explains why a lot of us are so chronically stressed or irritated or fatigued
Mm.
or moody or, because that's what magnesium helps with, all of those things. And so, we put 100 milligrams of magnesium, which is more than any electrolyte you'll ever see. And we use glycinate because, which is another fun fact, most magnesium supplements have about a 5% absorption rate. So you're like probably not absorbing whatever magnesium supplement you're taking. Unless you're taking a bioavailable magnesium strain, which would be a glycinate or like a 3 and 8. And people with stubborn weight gain and gut issues are already having absorption issues. So making sure that you're getting an electrolyte or a beverage or whatever that is actually bioavailable and actually going to absorb is also like key. I feel like I'll drink electrolyte packets and be like, I don't notice anything, and I'll need to drink like two or three. But with ours, it's like I notice after just like half the serving what's going on in my body, You
Okay,
feel
good.
hydrated.
Like, wow. Because like that was a lot. So first,
So
like
much
your
info,
products.
sorry. Like just
No,
nerd
because it was good. And again, I'm glad we're recording so I can go back and be like, okay, so what did she say about, like my gut and everything?
out.
Because again, like your products are amazing. I'm definitely gonna get some. I hope everyone listening and watching will get some. But like beyond that, when we're going to the grocery store, is there anything we should be mindful of, like reading or looking at to kind of know this isn't gonna be good for my gut or this is gonna be great?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really against added probiotics in foods and
Okay.
snacks. Like if you see with probiotics, no. If you see with prebiotics and it's like an inulin or a chicory root or a pectin and you bloat really easily, I would also say to stay away from those things because you eat them enough times in a row or even just once and you're going to feel bloated and backed up like I personally do with there's brands out there that like talk about fiber and talk about gut health, but they're using these harsher prebiotic fibers, and they
Mhm.
hurt my stomach and they actually irritate my stomach. So I also am a big proponent of like getting as much organic as you can, especially when it comes to like the dirty dozen, like strawberries and things like that. Like glyphosate is linked now to leaky gut. And leaky gut is, when you start to get holes in your intestinal lining and the food leaks out into your bloodstream and you get all these toxins circulating your system. So I think about almost every American is exposed to glyphosate. It's like really hard to escape because even if you're eating 100% organic diet, you still have trace residue of glyphosate in your blood, like they've been testing people. Just because we spray it in parks, we spray it at golf courses, things like that. Even if it's organic, it's probably getting exposed because of runoff. But I don't want to scare anyone. It's just like, can you lighten your load as much as possible and support your body? So all those things, and then refined sugar. Stay away from it as much as possible. If you can get like a date sugar or a maple or a honey, like really believe in that. And the last thing I'll say is gluten. Gluten is heavily sprayed with glyphosate when it's dry. So not just when the crop is growing, but when the crop is done growing, they spray it to dry it faster. And so yeah, gluten. I think that's why a lot of people say how they like can't eat gluten in America, but they can eat it
Mm.
in, Europe. If you want to eat gluten here, that's fine. I would just say get a really responsible source. Like, get a sourdough that's like lower in gluten or something like that. But yeah, those are my go-tos at the grocery store, things I avoid and am strict about.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. And I feel like this is like a better way to diet because I feel like most people or like the headlines is just be like, avoid
Yeah,
this. And I'm like,
avoid.
no.
I'm like, I avoided fat for so long, and then I got blood work back that was, like, pretty much like, I'm ruining my hormones, and I started adding in, like, really grass-fed, clean, healthy sources of, like, butter and yogurt, and I've never felt or looked better. Like, whoever said avoid all fats was completely wrong, when we know that that was, like, a propaganda campaign back in, like, the '80s and '70s and
Mm.
stuff, but yeah, like, if you wanna find a really responsibly made, like, yogurt or butter, like, go for it. Like, the
Okay.
healthiest people I know eat grass-fed salted butter, and our stomachs love it because it creates butyrate, which, like, helps again with detox and
Oh,
yeah.
amazing. Because, yeah, for breakfast, again, trying not to eat sugar. I get toast. I try to get like multigrain, and then I was putting butter on it, and then like my cinnamon and honey.
Oh, nice!
But then I was like, oh, this is a lot of butter. But now I
No.
know just
If it's a
get a
good
good.
grass-fed, you're good.
Okay,
You're
perfect.
getting your
So,
hormones dialed with that.
yay. So again, like, how did you learn all this? Like, what is your
That's such a good
what is
point.
your background?
I'm like a Scorpio rising, so I'm very obsessive with things. And when I got so, so, so sick, I like couldn't work anymore. I was so debilitated. I couldn't get out of bed. And I pretty much just like had a lot of time on my hands. And I befriended my functional medicine doctor. I was like obsessed with her and I just needed her to be my friend. And she started like literally answering any curiosity, any question that I had, like almost on a daily basis. So for like the last 5 years, I've been voice noting her, how does this work? And what does this do? And da da da. So we talked about this at nauseum for the last 5 years. Like I feel like I've been having like an apprenticeship with her. And also like in my spare time, I literally just look up PubMed articles about gut health. I feel like I was so bamboozled. Like my whole life I've been on diets and my whole life I've like looked at ingredients and no one ever told me the importance of, like, making sure your berries are organic. No one ever
Mm.
told me the impacts of, like, glyphosate. Like, no one warned me about that stuff. They were just warning me about, like, make sure you don't eat bread and cheese or whatever it is, you know? And I have to say, like, my body's so much happier. I'm restricting so much less. I feel really free to eat within my, like, confines that I eat in, but I just became so passionate about it. Like, I wanna learn every single thing about it, and I've spent the last 5 years doing that.
Oh my gosh. Well, and again, thank you because now I'm more clued in. And yeah, I mean, you might get some emails from me like,
Well, I'm
"Hey,
glad
so
you're
what about this?"
yeah, email me.
Thank you, because again, like, researching is so much,
So much.
but again, it's good, and again, thank you for making it, like, easy for the consumer to find
Right.
something on the shelf that is actually healthy for us. And then can you also kind of speak to, like, again, we know gut health is important, but everyone has a different gut biome, is that
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Oh, okay,
Well,
so
I think everyone has, different genetics, first of all. And they say like about half the population has what's called an MTHFR gene mutation, which means we don't detox as well. We don't absorb our vitamin Bs as well. So those help us detox. And I think there's like half the population that really struggles with mitigating all this exposure to chemicals and all this exposure to
mm,
pesticides. And I kind of think I fall into that bucket. Like I should probably get officially tested, but um yeah, I just think genetically we're all different. I can see some people who like are so unfazed by the pesticides that they're eating, but then again, they might be infertile when they go to have a baby. So it's things like that. Like maybe they don't feel a stomach ache, but maybe they have fertility issues at the end of it. It's like you don't know how it's impacting you. You could end up having just Alzheimer's when you're older. Like it's not always a direct instant impact. I like that my body directly tells me. I like that I get a rash if I eat gluten because I think it keeps me more up to date on my health versus, it being like this silent thing that, shows up later in life.
Yes. So again, as much as I feel like my rash is annoying, to your point, anytime I think about sugar, I'm like, nope, I don't
Nope.
want to be itchy later. I'm like,
Exactly.
get behind me, Satan. No, no, no.
Exactly. It's
So
like, what is it worth it to you? Like some people, they're like, I don't get rashes when I eat sugar, so I'm not going to quit. But like for you, you're like, I don't want this thing on me and it's irritating me. And I know that have you noticed that it helps you to quit sugar?
yeah, because it hasn't been itchy since I stopped.
Wow.
Again, it's still there, but it's only
Well,
been
yeah.
like 2 weeks
No.
without sugar, and I haven't like eaten more like enough greens as I probably should have been. But
Greens,
yeah.
yeah, because greens help you detox. They support your liver for detox, but then you're also getting fiber from the greens. So if you just add in more fiber, you might have some benefits. I'm not a doctor, but a lot of skin rashes can be traced back to like a fungal overgrowth, which we all are kind of experiencing right now. They say that, and I don't want to get too woo-woo, but they say that the radiation that we're all exposed to with our, when we're charging our laptops and when we're charging our phones, that like it's kind of like helping fungal growth in our bodies. So like I've been dealing with candida lately, and like a lot of people I know have been dealing with candida, and it's just like a very common sign to get skin rashes if that's what's going on.
Okay. Well, thank you. Because
Yeah.
again, when you were like, "Oh yeah, it might be a fungal thing," I'm like, "Not her on my podcast
That's
saying I got
why
fungus."
I'm like,
But then you said everyone deals with it, so I'm like, "Okay,
everyone.
I'm not alone."
No.
So thank you for that. And again, like you were talking about all the ingredients and what you put in the powder. I'm not sure if we mentioned like it's a powder that you mix and drink, but you created this recipe. Like, yeah, did you have a process when creating the recipe?
Absolutely. I feel like my whole life, like I said, I've been picking up packages, looking at the back, looking at the ingredients. And oftentimes when I find products that I like, I'm like, oh my God, you were almost perfect. But you have this one ingredient that is gut disruptive or inflammatory or not that efficacious or not that high in quality. Like, and I always wonder to myself, like, why do we not have more premium options in the grocery store? Like, why is it so hard to find premium packaged on the go options? Like I know that there's an appetite for it. So I just took like my favorite electrolytes and like what I liked about them and what I didn't like about them, and I did the opposite of what I didn't like. But I also did a lot of research, like the way our like what the reason I added 100 milligrams of magnesium. Most electrolytes have about 60 per serving, and we almost doubled it, and it's just because of how low and how all of us are really struggling with a magnesium deficiency. So that was, that informed that. And then also for it to be a gut health brand, I wanted every single ingredient to do something for your gut health that benefited you. And I wanted every single ingredient to be gentle and safe for people who bloat really easily. So I not only tested on my own IBS, but I sent it to like everyone I know who has gut issues to make sure that they didn't feel a reaction from it. And I really wanted to ensure that it was like super premium and super trusted and super safe, but also the taste had to be key. Like if something tastes bad, I will not take it, even though I know it's good for me. Like I will just not, I'll avoid it. That's just how I am.
Yeah, well, I am too. I would try to like force
Yeah,
feed myself because I'm like, I have to eat this. And
right,
again, like get away from sugar and all these processed
right.
foods. And to me, I would mark something if it was healthy, if it was disgusting, because I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, it's probably.
Right? That's
So again,
so
thank
funny
you.
because people are always like, wait, it's actually good. When they try it, they're like, wait, it actually tastes good. Like they're so surprised. I'm like, I'm a little offended, but yeah, I get it.
Exactly. Like it's so hard. And then again, we keep talking about this product. Like people can get this online, of
Yeah.
course, all the links below, but also in stores and cafes. So, how is that process of moving into,
To
well,
retail.
yeah, because were they different, like a store versus a
So
cafe?
different. I mean, when it's your online store, you control the narrative, you control the education and the way people perceive the product. If it's a website, they have a lot of room to like go on the blog, like you said, or read an article. But you know, when you're at the store, you're usually like looking in the category, so you're seeing like all the options. You're seeing the prices side by side, and a lot of times it's just like price that comes down to your choice. Or a lot of times it's like whoever the store clerk recommended to you, or you know, if you saw that brand from an influencer that day, you're maybe going to grab that one. So it's a little different, I think, especially as a premium brand that's doing something we've never really seen before, where it's like tasty and healthy and premium. It's like, how do we explain to customers that like the price, like why it's more expensive than maybe most electrolytes, why it's more beneficial than most electrolytes? Like that takes a lot of education, and so being with retailers that are willing and able to like let me support that education is so key. There's some retailers where it's like their customers get it automatically and they love it and they just buy it, but then there's some retailers it's like they don't get it, you know, they don't understand. And so to have retailers that let me, you know, sample to them and come in and explain, but not every retailer is going to let you do that. So it's really just like, you know, who's willing to work with you as a new brand and help support you. But it's really nice like hearing people are like, oh, that's your brand, I saw it at this store, oh, I love it, I've been buying it, you know, it like makes you feel really good. But yeah, it's an uphill battle because I'm just like defying categories and we're a bit priced higher than most people, but it's for good reason. We use quality.
Honestly, I know I speak a lot about like pricing on my podcast because I have female entrepreneurs. I'm like, yo, it's female owned. You're supporting a woman. Like, you see exactly who you're supporting. And it's like they have to live in our economy too. Plus, everyone I have on talks about like their product in so much detail. Like, a lot of times it's handcrafted, like truly created and tested. So it's like, yes, it's going to be a higher price. We're not, in a factory overseas letting people work for pennies. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'll get off my
Ingredients
soapbox.
are like really good, high quality ingredients are expensive. And then education around that is takes time and money. Yeah.
See, it's worth it. But like not all higher price things are great
Yeah.
quality. So again, do your research or again, listen to Behind the Gloss because I have
We'll
I tell you
all the
what to
tea here.
buy. Honestly, but again, going back to like the stores and even like being in cafes, because you were saying like sometimes you're not there to say like what your product is. So how did you kind of make your product stand out with the packaging alone? Like, I'm sure that took time.
I didn't get to hire like a full packaging designer. It was literally just me who designed it. So, like, we had some branding work done where it's like I had my logo and those little bacteria characters on there. But I literally just like had a vision, like, I need this particular green. And I literally went out and I like got those paint samples, you know, like, what is this green that I am looking for? And it's like I already have the idea in my head. I wanted something that's like so stylish it can like sit on your kitchen counter, so that you'll never forget it. You'll never forget to take it, but you'll also never forget to take it because you'll literally crave it. It tastes so good. It'll be like your sweet treat, but also, you know, your medicine. And I think so many supplements out there come in like very serious packaging. You know, really just like plain labels, like dark black, green labels, which I totally get. It communicates like very serious. We're researched, we've got you. But I really wanted something that felt playful and fun and jovial. Like healing your gut and abstaining from sugar is hard, you know. It's not a good feeling. You feel othered, you feel different, you feel like, why me? It's really easy to like come down on yourself. And when your mood is low, Like your gut and your mood are so interrelated that like for me, like staying positive and being happy has contributed to better gut health for me. And so like making sure that customers also get that experience when they're healing their gut was so important to me. Like I want people to feel like they can smile when they look at this packaging and I can like make them feel vibrant and happy at the same time as the actual insides do.
Again, thank you for saying that. It could be like quite isolating when you are trying to be more helpful and conscious because again you said like you don't drink alcohol anymore, so I've been trying and then I went to a friend's house and she was like, oh, I made us sangrias, and it was like, thank you. And like kind of felt like I had to drink it, and I'm like, well, it's just one, but
But one
how do
does
you,
have an impact, yeah.
yeah, so how do you like navigate not drinking because our society is so like
Oh my God.
drink drink drink, yeah.
I didn't even realize until I stopped drinking, like how central it is to like the way we all socialize or the way we all celebrate or have fun. It's like central to everything. Um, I love my mocktails. Like I'll come to a friend's house. I always bring a mocktail when I go to a friend's house because like I know there'll be alcohol there or wine or whatever. It's like I don't want to stop them, but I also want to participate in the ritual without, feeling like crap the next day. So I really love Kia. I'll do like a kiwi lemonade as well, like my own
Oh,
cream. I love it as a mocktail. It's so good. De Soie is really good. Like just and getting like a fancy little can, it feels fun. Like put it in a fancy drink, put a little fancy fruit on there, and like have some fun with it. But yeah, no, I get it. Like it's hard to not participate when everyone else is drinking. And then also, like, as the night goes on or whatever the day, like, people are getting drunker and you're like, not,
yeah.
you know?
So, and then you're just like
And
the
then I call it
designated.
early. I'm like, okay. But I did find myself, I'm spending more time with people who also don't drink, and it's interesting because we've filled our days with like different activities. Like, maybe we won't go to the bar and drink during the day. Maybe we'll go do like a physical activity instead,
Okay,
which
no,
has changed my whole life in a way.
oh, that's amazing. And again, it all starts with the gut. Like, it's just so cool. And then again, going back to Preme Foods. So, well, where did the name come from? I'm always
Yeah,
curious about
thank
that.
you for asking. So I hired like this marketing team to build out our branding, and I hated all of the names that they gave me. They gave me like a list of names, and they were all really, really bad. And every name that I wanted to use or that I came up with was like already existed, or there was like a trademark already. And so I have this guy friend named Ryan Hamilton. Shout out to Ryan Hamilton. He's an incredible designer. He's been teaching himself Photoshop since he was 10 years old and like works with really big musicians, doing their album covers and stuff like that. But I I knew that he could name my brand. So I took him to dinner at like a really fancy place called All Time in Los Angeles. And I bought us, at the time I was drinking, we were drinking wine and we were having dinner. And I was like, come on, like, let's name it together. And he was like, tell me some stuff about the brand. Like, let me start thinking. And I was like, well, we use prebiotics and we use premium ingredients. And then he just goes, Preme. And it was like the first name that he rolled off his tongue. And it was like hearing your baby's name for the first time or something. Like I just knew that that was the name we were going to go with. And luckily we got the trademark and everything like that was working out. But yeah, it's funny because people call it Preme, but like people think it's that. And I always say like, well, if I have to explain how to pronounce my name, maybe I have to explain how to pronounce my baby's name. So it feels fitting. But yeah, so Preme is just to represent like premium prebiotics because so many gut health brands use probiotics. I wanted to really try to differentiate that.
My gosh. Well, again, like I love it. And
Thank you.
yeah, I think I was one of the ones that was like, pre-made? Like what? And then I think I heard someone say it and I was like, oh, it does look like supreme.
Yes.
And then like even like premium. I'm like,
Yeah.
so again, it's not you. It's the American education
No,
system.
we'll all know that it's Preme after enough podcast episodes.
Exactly, that's true. So I love it. And again, you have the powders, but
Yeah.
you actually started the brand with pudding.
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where to start. Like, why did you switch
Yeah.
from pudding to powder?
I was really naive when I started my brand. I have no experience being a brand owner or working for a startup or doing a company like doing a CPG brand. So, at the time that I thought about the pudding, I was on a very strict diet from my functional medicine doctor. Um, she had given me these special prebiotic fibers that are only prescribed by functional medicine doctors. And I was mixing them in my oatmeal. I was mixing them in my latte. I was doing like adaptogenic lattes and like I had a really hard time having an appetite and like you need your nutrients to overcome illness. But I would wake up like debilitatingly nauseous and nothing sounded good. Like literally everything sounded revolting and I could barely feed myself. I could barely get out of bed, but I would like struggle. I would get up and I would make this latte packed with like collagen, prebiotics, and then I would make oatmeal again packed with collagen, prebiotics, whatever I could fit in there and digest. And while I'm eating my oatmeal, I'm like, why? And like drinking my powders that like tasted like mud. I'm like, why is this such an unenjoyable experience? And like, why can I not just go to the grocery store right now and get a Greek yogurt? Like, I was craving Greek yogurt. The texture is really thick. You can like carve it with your spoon. But again, the probiotics in there would cause someone with SIBO to bloat and have more harm than good. So I thought, why couldn't I have like a Greek yogurt like texture with all the ingredients I'm already using in my oatmeal? Like, why can't I just do that? So I experimented in my kitchen for 8 months, literally just Googling like pudding recipes. And, we used to bake them, we sous vide them, and then I realized I did stovetop eventually. And I got the shelf life to 3 months, and something I'm gonna rat out the food industry. Like most grocers, if you want to be in a grocery store, they want like an 8 month shelf life, which is kind of gross. Most yogurt has a year shelf life, and the reason it does is because two things are really good preservatives: sugar and yeah, sugar and fermentation, which is like how you create those probiotic strains. So both were out of the question. So, the next probable step would be to do more like research and development on how to, extend the shelf life. And I don't want to take outside investments at this time. I really want to, this is my baby. I want to grow it the way I want to grow it. And so for me, like, those puddings will come back because I and our community were so obsessed with them. They filled a hole that like we all need, is to have like a dairy-free yogurt experience that has like collagen protein and like prebiotic fiber in there, and it's safe and gentle for like babies, and everyone loved it. And it was so good, to just get like 10 grams of protein, only naturally sweetened. But yeah, it's like I need to do a lot of research and development on there. It's going to cost a lot of money to do that. And I want to make sure that our company is in a good place to afford that. So, the whole time my mom's in my ear, like, why don't you just do drink powders? You already were doing drink powders. Why you can have the same benefit. So, it's like any good founder will listen to advice and adjust and pivot. It took me years to do that, a little bit too long, I will say. But I'm happy that we launched the drink powders this year and that we're like off to the races with something that people are really excited about. Look, it's not food, it's not a snack, so it's harder to get excited about that. But it's definitely like still really delicious. Like the hot cocoa has 5 grams of fiber, like 3 grams of healthy fat, and less than 2 grams of sugar. So it's basically a snack in and of itself. I really miss the puddings and they will come back. We have a plan to extend the shelf life. It's just going to cost money. And in the meantime, I think it would be so great to be able to like create a nice foundation for Preme with the drink powders where people really know the brand before we go into a more difficult space like the refrigerated aisle. And so that by the time we launch with a big grocer, like everybody already knows what Preme is. They're not like, what is this new yogurt in here? It's like, no, then they're anticipating it and they're waiting for it. And so, it's really easy to go bankrupt. Like I think 97% of CPG companies fail. There's like a lot of turnover, and they say puddings and yogurts are the hardest section to do any sort of snack in. So it's like I just entered into the hardest league with zero experience, zero background, so naive with like a 3 month shelf life. Like anyone who's ever had experience in this industry would be like, you're setting yourself up to fully fail. So yeah, so just being realistic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And because you said CPG,
Yeah,
what is
sorry,
that?
consumer packaged goods. I hate when people do like use
Oh,
business lingo. I'm like, yeah.
well, because I mean, you're like in this every day. So, like, I understand just like shortening it and probably talking to, like other
Yeah, different
like-minded
people
business
about
people.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
But
you
no,
for
like,
clarifying.
oh, of course. I mean, that's my job essentially. But yeah, again, like that was so cool. I'm glad the puddings are coming back because I saw it somewhere and I was like, I want to try
They're
the pudding.
so good. Everyone loves pudding too. Like every culture, which I discovered, I didn't know this, but like the Spaniards have a pudding recipe that they like, and the
Mm.
French do a pudding, and the Turkish do a pudding. It's just like really common. Like there's panna cotta and Italy, just like everyone has their own version of a pudding recipe, which I think it's so cool because it touches everyone in like a very heart-centered place, like the actual pudding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I see success in your future. Like, I mean, I'm seeing it now. And so you were saying you actually started the powder this year?
Yeah, we launched like the end of January of this year.
Wow. And so, again, I have so many questions. Because, yeah, like, are the powders, are they more profitable or like easy to make? Like, what was the difference between
Yeah, so the
powder
difference
and
is like
pudding?
a powder, I have a year to sell these versus 3 months to sell.
Mhm.
You can ship them so much more affordably, like versus a glass jar when I had to put ice packs in there and I was like mostly hand delivering them because I didn't want any shipping problems. So I can ship basically nationwide now, which I couldn't before. We're able to do press and get more exposure because I have enough that I can produce. I was self producing all those puddings. We were renting a commercial kitchen, which is very expensive. And I was making all these puddings by hand because a machine is like $12,000 minimum. So it's just a lot of things that you wouldn't think about. You have to buy eggs to make the pudding, and eggs expire at a certain time. So, like,
Mhm.
managing all those raw materials is much more difficult than like a prebiotic fiber that lasts for 5 years if it's packaged.
Ooh, that's good. But yeah, I think that's another thing people don't
Don't think
think
about.
when starting a business. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of, I was even thinking about my little podcast. I'm like, wow, I had to buy my website and like my
Yeah,
equipment. I'm like, it does add up.
for
Like,
sure.
yeah, so don't be surprised if y'all see a paywall because
I know, seriously, you're giving us like really good content here.
oh, thank you. You see the vision.
Yeah.
But again, like another thing people say about businesses is like within the first 2 years,
Right.
you're not making money. So I don't know. Do you want to like
Yeah.
talk us through? And you also said you're not taking investors. So,
At this
uh,
time, we will be
oh,
eventually, yes.
yes. Okay, go
Doing a
ahead.
bootstrapped brand is so hard. The best way to learn is by making mistakes. Mistakes cost a lot of money. So, like, I haven't bought really that many new clothes because I put all my money into Preme, and it's like all these things that everyone's doing where they're like, oh, I'm shopping or I'm going on European vacations or whatever. I'm like, I'm doing none of that, and Preme's getting all of it. And, every single month we have to pay for our, like, Shopify account and our email account. So we're getting all these bills that come in, and it's like if I don't try to turn us profitable as fast as possible, like I'm wasting money essentially. It's also been so interesting since I launched Prame, watching how many brands have copied us. Like, wow, I'm a part of me is flattered, a part of me is like upset that I didn't move faster. But yeah, everyone says when you start a company, like you move fast because someone else will come in and do it better faster than you if you're not. So it becomes like a race. And so I wanted to go ahead and get the name out there with our powders as fast as possible. Like it might take another year and a half to develop the shelf life of those puddings. I don't have a year and a half when there's like five other brands that have like come on the scene at the same, a year or two after me using the exact same prebiotics I'm using that's no one's ever used in snacks before. So yeah, just like I think it's like you have to manage the reality and also your hopes and dreams as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a visionary. Like, I have to be realistic. obviously I love to be idealistic. That's what made me develop the product in the first place. But if I don't blend it with a little realism, I will fail. My company will not make it. And the whole goal is to help people.
You were speaking directly to me.
Oh,
Because yeah, I know like even with my podcast, like there's been moments like I'll put out a few episodes and then I kind of just have to take a break because I don't know about you, but it's just me, myself, and I here.
same.
Solopreneur, woo.
Yes, I'm telling you, get an intern,
Oh
like
my God.
try to get people involved because it has like changed my mental health to like not have it all on my shoulders, you know?
Good. Like, wow. Again, I'm just gonna give us a round of applause
Yeah,
because
both of us.
it's so hard, but we are doing
Very hard.
amazing and we are doing great because you were talking about like all the costs and all the things. So, how is it for us to support you? Do we should we go directly to your site or should we
Yeah.
buy in the cafes or the restaurants or
Yeah,
the
go to our
yeah.
site. We're also on livehealthily.com if you want to go on their site and shop there. But yeah, like go try Preem. Go give it a try. It's functional medicine doctor prescribed ingredients. Like if you can't afford out-of-pocket care to get like a nutritionist or a functional medicine, this is the next best thing, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. Like just
Yeah.
drink cuz
Bring it
again,
with you on the
I was
plane, whatever, you know?
yeah, I was trying to be healthy and like just drink water. And then, because again, always at the source of the crime, sugar. Like, because I want, sugary drinks. Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me just stick to water. But then I found Prime and I'm like, oh, I don't have to just drink water and I can be healthy. Like, oh, let's go. So I can't thank you enough for building this brand. And again, of course, you were talking about, like kind of having to move quickly. If I'm not mistaken, I think you were saying like you purposely did want to take your time, but then you were also talking about like procrastination can kind of have links to fear. So I guess the first question, how do you balance taking time but not procrastinating and all the things?
It's honestly a daily practice. Like some days I cave to my fears and I procrastinate. And, some days I'm like, no, we're doing this. Like, warrior face is on. I will say, as the years have gone on and I've like witnessed what procrastination does to harm me or to harm my business, that is like almost like fuel to like, oh, are you going to do it again? Are you going to procrastinate again? Are you going to give in to your fears again? Or are you going to just do what people who succeed do? And it's like have this blind trust in yourself, like full faith. And it's really a pep talk in the moment. Like I can see myself wanting to choose one or the other. I'm like on the bridge between the two. And look, it's like if your nervous system, if you've experienced a lot of trauma growing up and, things that have gone undealt with, like, and your nervous system is fried and maybe doesn't have the capacity to hold all these things you're trying to accomplish, like, I get that too. And I really believe in like I do daily nervous system work for myself personally. Like, that's the only way I can grow a business like this, or else I'm just so riddled with fear and what are they going to think and what's going to happen and like anticipating like the fear of the growth, which is really sad like to have like can I hold it all, can I do it without making a mistake, can I do it without failing, and it's like not being afraid to fail, like really not thinking about the outcome so much and just having fun as much as you can. But I think we all are afraid. I think the only difference between the people doing it and the people not doing it is just like accepting the fear and keep going, It'll get quieter. It'll get quieter. There'll be less overthinking. And then it's more action oriented in your system. But I feel you. And I think when, you're talking about like you'll do 2 episodes and then stop, it's like that's what that is. Like we have these self sabotaging behaviors that we give into and we don't even realize we're doing it at the time. But it's like, our bodies will be like, I'm so tired, I don't feel well, I can't do it. It's like, okay, but are you really too tired to do it, or are you just trying to self sabotage? You don't know. But I'm also like, we're women, we have hormones. Like we go through like a monthly cycle. There's definitely like only 1 week out of the month where I'm like, I can do anything, And the rest of the weeks I'm like, Yeah, I am like so tired. Give me time to rest.
But I love that. And I love that you're calling it, like a nervous system check. Because I think everyone else is just like, I do affirmations, I go for runs. But it's like, well,
Well,
no,
that
I
might
think it
help their
is.
nervous system, but yeah,
Yeah,
it might
it's
help them, but it's not really the root
wild.
of it all. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Because, yeah, again, now I just feel like I'm telling all my business. Because, like, I signed up for therapy because I
Good for
realized I have a
you.
procrastination problem. And it's like, I know that it's rooted, like, not in my ability to do things because I can and I proved that. It's,
Yes.
again, just something
Something we can't
within.
even put our finger on that just stops us or like keeps us in this pattern. Like, what is it? Why am I still doing this even though I know I don't want to be doing it? And that's when it comes to the subconscious and the nervous system. And like, I love Joe Dispenza and like, I really love TBM. If you've ever done 2B magnetic, it's really good work. But yeah, it's nice that there's a lot of tools now at our fingertips where we can meditate, ground, touch the grass on your feet and like just stay really present with yourself.
Oh, exactly. Oh, so again, thank you. Because, yeah, I think I started like panicking. Like, someone had reached out, like, hey, when's this episode going out? And I'm like, I don't know. And I was
Sorry.
like, do I need to have it out soon? And then it's like, okay, just take my time one foot in front of the other. So, yeah, like you have amazing advice. And I also heard you say that, your brand is only as good as you. Obviously, your brand's amazing,
Oh,
but
thank
can you tell us a little bit more about who the amazing Xeba is?
you.
And yeah.
I think I love that you quoted me, first of all. That's so nice. Um, and what I mean by that is like not the aesthetic of your brand, but more like your company and like how well it's doing. I think the number one bottleneck of any company is like the CEO. And like, so the common denominator is always me, like how fast did I move on that? Did I drag my feet on this? Like, did I say yes to that decision? Did I say no to that decision? Like, it's always comes down to me. And I really wish we were further along at this point, but something I love about the brand is just like how people respond to it. Like I developed the brand with my own idea in my little bubble with my, the help of my designers, but then it's like I go out to the world and I come across people who love the brand, who buy Preme, who love Preme. And I think the brand develops even more with their help. Like, I think having that community feedback is how the brand grows. But about me, I've dealt with chronic illness like my whole life, like in and out of the hospital with since I was in diapers with chronic constipation and gas pains. And then I had two surgeries by the time I was 12 and made major surgeries that left me with scoliosis and nerve damage. And also, you're on a morphine pump, so you're having gut issues as well from all the antibiotics and everything. So I've had my fair share of run-ins with my health, and that gave me a lot of time alone. Like when I had those surgeries, I spent all summer recovering, so I wasn't out playing with my friends. Um, and the surgery was I was born with a sunken chest that was impacting my heart, and so like I couldn't walk a block without being like winded. So I couldn't really do sports, as well as everyone else. I couldn't run as everyone, I couldn't be as active as everyone else. And I think all of this pain and time alone really strengthened me. Like I have such a high tolerance for things that go wrong or from, things that feel unfair. And I think I've had to really work on like my victim mentality and trying to, feel vital from within and not just like expecting what a doctor tells me to do to fix me. And so I think having all that time on my hands and pain really shaped me into someone who's like really curious and interested and sensitive, because having that many people ask you like, what do you think it is? Do you think it's this? What, for the course of years, having to like, what is it? Like, what hurt my stomach and made me not be able to go out right now? Like, what's going on with me? And what is this rash, like you said? Like, what is happening? And I think it has made me into this kind of like superhero with my own body. And I don't mean to like tout my own horn, but like, I'm really so sensitive. I can tell if I've eaten something that's not organic. I can tell if I've eaten something that has sugar in there. Like I will feel the reaction in real time. And I know other people who have like gut issues will say the same thing, or who've had like autoimmune, they'll say the same thing. So it's a gift, it's a blessing and a curse. I think it shaped me into someone who can like develop these snacks that are really, really gentle and sensitive for people because of like my radar on that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sorry that you had to go
Thank
through
you.
all that, but again, I'm happy that it like produced something great. And again, I imagine this is what led to Preem, and now, I'm reaping some of the benefits of your hard work.
I love that.
So, yeah, so thank you. And I mean, that leads me to my next question. Like, do you feel like you were destined to be your own boss?
So both of my parents are their own bosses, and everyone I talk to who works for themselves, we all have like this similar quality about us where we just like don't really love being told what to do. Um, I'm like, I can be subservient and like do what you say, but I also have so many ideas about all these other things we could be doing. And like, I'm way more passionate and lit up by those things. And so I'll maybe put that on the back burner and do those things I'm not like the best employee, I don't think. But yeah, I do think I was always destined to do something in health. It's funny, like I was originally pre-med, but then I just didn't end up doing it. And I went to work in TV and film because I really believed that telling stories is how you change people's hearts and minds. Hollywood's not really telling stories these days that are very impactful, so it's not like I'm like missing much right there anymore, but yeah, I'm really glad that I'm like in the health space and helping support people any way I can with whatever knowledge I have. Like imagining that there's, someone out there who's struggling with their gut health and doesn't know what to do and actually can't afford the resources that they need, and witnessing how much, like, I went to the best Beverly Hills GI specialist and realizing how little information he gave me compared to my out-of-pocket functional medicine doctor who healed her own Hashimoto's, and like what the difference is between a doctor who's learned everything in a classroom versus someone who's learned firsthand. It's just worlds of difference. Like I think someone who owns a gut health brand without gut health problems,
What are you doing?
what are you offering? You can't really offer from firsthand experience. You're offering from like some scientific articles that you read or what has been proven. So I think, to each their own, but I think you hold a special arsenal and like a special asset when you yourself have had to overcome the very issue that you're trying to help.
Amazing. And yeah, like I agree. And I think it makes, yeah, just a better leader. So, yeah, because also with Preme Foods, like again, it's not like I'm gonna drink some of the Preme stuff and then everything's okay. Like it's
Well,
not
you
a
will
fix, right?
feel noticeably better from just one. And that was something
Mhm.
that I wanted to do because I think most snacks, you're like, did that help me? I don't know. Do I feel anything? Maybe after like a
Yeah.
month. But no, these are science backed. I myself, like whenever I drink the kiwi lemonade, the next day I'm like no longer backed up.
Mm.
When I'm drinking the hot cocoa, it regulates your bowels no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. If you have nausea, if you're having loose bowels, if you're constipated, like, and even my dad, he just had surgery and like, the antibiotics, they back you up and, you don't have energy as a result. And watching him just like take the kiwi lemonade and then try the unflavored was so cool. He like his whole disposition changed after just like one day of adding this into his diet. He was like backed up. They were giving him like magnesium oxide at the hospital, which I know people try to use that for their gut health, but all it does is rush water to your bowels. So it's not really helping you in the long run. That's why it stops working over time. But prebiotic fiber is a long lasting change.
Oh,
You put that in your body even once, and you're going to have, a trickle down effect of
oh,
noticeable
nice.
change. So, yeah.
Yeah, but because you were saying we can take it every day,
Yeah.
but is there like such a thing as too much?
No, that's how it was designed. Um, you can take it, I even designed it to where you could take like 4 a day if you really were, felt extra backed up or you just really wanted more hydration. Like, there is such a thing as having too much sodium from your electrolytes. Like LMNT has like 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving, which is great if you have like POTS or if you just ran a marathon. But most of my friends who have gut issues aren't running marathons. They're just like in their house, backed up, uncomfortable. So I made sure that you're not getting too much sodium with just one serving. We did about half, so you can do two if you'd like. But we use efficacious doses of science-backed prebiotic fibers, and so you will notice from one serving, and you will notice even more if you have it consistently every single day. We have
Mm.
actually like a list of like what happens after just 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months.
Oh,
So you'll
cool.
see different benefits depending on.
I love that because I feel like that's why people like will quit a diet because you don't see results.
Yeah,
So I'm
actually.
happy that you have that. And yeah, I wanted to know like what have you learned about yourself since
Oh, I love this
being
question.
your own entrepreneur? Like,
I love that question.
mm,
Obviously, I think you and I talked about like where our fears are at and our shortcomings. And I could talk about all of the negativities that I've learned about myself, but what I've lately really learned is just like how ingenious the way I think is and like the way I approach food. I really do want to tout my own horn here. Like, I approach ingredients and food from such a unique place as someone who experiences like severe gut sensitivities and working with manufacturers and working with other people in the space, like they don't understand these ingredients. They don't know how to source them. They don't know why it matters to get certain sourcing over other sourcing. And so like knowing that I have this like unique passion for it and understanding like how it's impacting my body in a real time or how the science works in a real time, like I love seeing myself nerd out over something that like I get to do every single day. I just feel like the luckiest girl in the world. And so like I've really seen like a new side of myself where I'm like really grateful and really proud and really enamored with just like the work that I'm doing. And especially when I hear from friends who are like, or just customers who are like, I my bloating is so much better. I'm literally don't bloat every single day anymore. Like I don't have that problem anymore. Just like, oh, I'm literally no longer constipated. Like this has literally helped me so much. Just hearing I live for those, that's like why I do it. So yeah, I mean, the question was what I learned about myself, but yeah, it's just like I also never thought I could work this hard, which is crazy because when
mm,
you're working for someone else's vision and you're an employee, like you clock in, you clock out. You might do
yeah.
some weekend work, but that's the extent of it, and you're doing it out of fear because you don't want your boss to find out. But like, I I will literally like stay up all night. I'll, go back to the office if I need to. I'll, remake that pudding recipe like 5 times in a row if I need to, like just superhuman stuff that I didn't think I was capable of doing. And I think people talk about this when they have a baby too. And I don't mean to
Mm,
be insensitive,
yeah.
like relate my business to a baby, but like just you stretch, like your capacity stretches when you love something so much and like when you really believe in it. So I'm like witness myself stretching, which I think is amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I mean, yeah, please do toot your own horn. Like that's what you're here for. I mean, I'll do it. Like I know we just met, but like just
Yeah,
these products are amazing.
thank
And
you.
again, your attention to detail and you can feel the passion.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, you're already succeeding, but I just see like more growth. And so I live in Canada and I'm over here like, dang, I wonder if I could sell this at my dance studio. Like, would she
Yeah,
shift,
I mean, I think
shift
we have
to,
6. You have
I'm
a dance
sorry.
studio? That sounds awesome. I think when we have like the individual packets, I would love. Yeah, like when
That's
people are just poured in their
amazing.
water bottles.
Yeah, so I know I got you when you're ready to
You. Is that your
spread.
studio or is that where you go for fun?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, I work there and then
Awesome.
it's a, what do you call it? A
You-
small business because I know like the owner
Yeah.
and I know she supports my podcast. So
Hell
I was like,
yeah.
hey, like I know some people, can you please help? And
I
like,
love dance studios. It's such a fun way to get a workout in and just get
right?
lost in the music.
Yeah, so
We
again,
all
I'm
need
gonna tell,
hobbies. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm gonna tell all my dance friends, like, girl, this got some electrolytes in it. Like, wait, we gotta get some puddings too. Like, it's a whole thing. Like,
You got
yeah,
electrolytes, you got your trace minerals, leaky gut support, we have collagen, hyaluronic acid.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I'm just so, so, so excited. And
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, I could talk to you forever, but I'll just leave it with this last question. It's the same question I ask all my guests, and I phrase it like this. If you were to lose your voice tomorrow, what's the last thing you want people to hear from you? Yeah.
Oh, this question is crazy.
Yeah. Well, you'll get your voice back. I didn't want it to be like morbid or anything,
No,
but
it's good.
like, just something that, you think people need to hear.
I love you.
And I took that personally. I'm like, thank
You
you. Yes.
Yeah, we all need
Oh,
love.
oh, that's so true. And
Yeah.
again, love your guts. So,
Yes.
yeah, get Preem. Oh my gosh,
Thank
yeah, you're
you guys.
absolutely amazing. Again,
Thank
all
you.
the links in the bio, and the best way to support is ordering directly from the site. So,
Yes, we'll be up on Amazon soon, which I think will get to the Canadian shoppers more easily, is what I've been told. Yes.
Put your glass on, get your boss on behind the glass.
mwah.